So here is quick 5 tips I think some of the developers miss. So first tip is people fail to understand the business. Now you can concentrate uh, on the coding part. You can concentrate on the servers, um, fixing the drives, increasing the memory, setting up load balancers, doing your backend, creating an API, and all that stuff. But that's only part of it, right? You have to understand the front end. The front end part of the system ties very nicely with the back end, and then if it ties nicely, then you can understand the system overall. But not only that, you need to understand the business as well. So, so if you do understand the business, you can prioritize things much easily. Okay, and you can pick the core parts of the system in the beginning versus picking the most complicated part in the end because you thought that was not important. Suddenly, that is so important. Um, you would have known that if you understood the business. So it's worth speaking to the people who are involved in the product in your company or the stakeholder holders, other developers. Just speak to the people. Don't talk about the code itself. Speak about the product. That's number one. Number two, progression is more important than improvements. What that means is that delivery of the product is more beneficial to the company or whoever you're building the software for than the improvements that you add to that product, right? So um, just create the product, get it out so it can be tested properly by yourself and other people of the QA team. And if you do have time, then try to improve it afterwards. Maybe it doesn't even need an improvement. It could be simple as something that is just in a stable place. Maybe it needs improvement after a couple of years, but in that moment it doesn't. So don't try to improve something unless you really need to. So when you make progression, it's way more important than the small little bugs refactors that you do here and there. So that's number two. um, Number three is you have to embrace the native language you're using to build a software. So, um, if you're using JavaScript, for example, plain JavaScript, and then use React on top of that, yes, do feel free to use React whenever you need to for reactivity. So you don't have to add events here and there. It just becomes easy to manage the state of the data. Use React for that, but try to use native JavaScript for everything else. It just makes it easy when you want to upgrade the system, um, and just in general. I think when you use something like React, you're putting a wrapper on top of the native language, and then one day you realize that a lot of things that React is offering, they are extra. They don't need to be there, but they are there because someone created a pull request, and the person who managed the framework decided to merge the request in. Um, so keep that in mind. Not everything in the framework is helpful. A lot of the stuff that you find in the framework can be found in the in the language itself. So try to use the features of the language as much as you can. Um, Another thing is, so this is point number four, is about communication. If you want to improve your communication, you want to get better, start writing tutorials or revise the tutorials when you've written them, and you will get improve your communication. Obviously, speaking to the people is fine, it does help, but you have to first know how to think about it, right? You have to know what to say. How to say is a different story. So write down tutorials, write down blogs, just write things on different subjects, um, and you'll be fine. And last but not least, go very nuclear. That this means stop trying to jump around from language to language. Stick to one language, and when you become expert at that language, it will be so much easier to transition to something else. Plus, you'll get paid way more. because you're an expert with that whatever technology you're using. So these are the 5 things. Good luck.